All right, it is time to talk about what in the heck we're going to do with this grow tent. Let's take a look. All right, so this thing is about 7 feet tall, I believe, based on the door over there. It is 8 feet wide and 4 feet deep. And so what I did, built it out, put it on that pallet so we can move it around. Eventually this will go on wheels so it can really move around everywhere, but I wanted to make sure this thing's going to work out the way we want it to. And what we are going to do with it, I actually started testing to see what the humidity and temperature would be in here, because what I want to do is use it for pupa. And so what I've got in here are a couple things. I have a tray of beetles just to see how the beetles do. I've got a tray back there that I put in probably, when did I start this? A week ago, to get that squared away and get rolling just to see. And then this week, late last week, I was able to make some extra trays to turn into pupation trays. So we're seeing how they do in this grow tent. And right now, this thing just naturally on its own with these trays in here, we're at 80% humidity and 80% Fahrenheit heat. I'm sorry, 80 degrees Fahrenheit heat. And so these guys are generating some heat, so it's making it warmer in here than it is in the room. So it's a couple degrees warmer, and they seem to be enjoying it. I did add this bottom tray here. I did add just a little bit of water in there. Nothing active. It's really just sitting there passively to evaporate. But there's no active air movement or moisture, humidifier in here. And it's already higher humidity because it's enclosed. And the temperature is a little higher because I think these guys are generating that heat and keeping it in here. And so what we're going to do is, over time, we're going to put the pupa in here after we've collected them so that they can sit in here in a much more humid environment, a little bit higher temperature, only a couple degrees. The temperature I'm not really trying to get higher. It's mostly the humidity, and we'll see how they do. The goal is to reduce the die-off rate of the pupa. And so I'm hopeful that by putting them in an environment where the moisture is higher, they'll be able to stay happy and healthy. And then one of the interesting things that I'll throw out there is you can tell the difference in this tray versus that tray. This tray had wheat bran in it. This tray did not. And what this tray had in it were whole oats. So I got these just to play with. That's what actually the bag is that's sitting over there. I got these just to play with. And what I'm finding is after I ground it up, I have the outside hulls, right? And I don't think that these guys are going to eat that. That's fine. I'm not too concerned about that from a processing perspective, because when we sift this tray to get the pupa, Leo said this stuff sifted just fine. It didn't clog anything up. It went through the slats just fine. The pupa obviously stopped. But this isn't causing a processing issue. This would be a bigger problem if we were using this in with the mealworms that we're collecting and harvesting routinely, because this stuff would gunk up the filters. It would probably wind up in both levels of the sieves that are used and just become kind of a nightmare. So I'm not going to use this for the regular bins, but it's a good backup option for these pupation trays. So that's why these guys are a little different. There's 4 of these just to get a good smattering of results here from multiple trays. And I don't think they're eating it as quickly. So I know they are eating it because as you look down in here, there's some frass. But it doesn't feel like they're eating it as quickly. Because when I come over to the tray that had just straight wheat bran, you can see the wheat bran's gone and there's just a bunch of frass in there. So I don't think they're particularly fond of this, but they did eat it and do seem to be doing okay. So that's what the grow tent is for. What I'll probably likely have to do after I get a bunch of things in here, I'm probably going to have to take advantage of the openings here that are built into it to exhaust air I'm a little concerned at this point that maybe it might get too hot in here and too full of moisture. So I'm not really going to know that for sure until we actually get things in here and get them, get the pupa loaded up. So we'll probably start that today. As you can see, it's actually pretty easy to access it. There's the two big doors on this side, and I put it here strategically because we're always going to have this walkway to the door here, and so we can get to these openings. But there's also openings on the other side too, if for some reason we need to access it from the other side. And it's nice and tall. So these blue trays from Beacon Camp should stack in here real nice. And I'm not anticipating too many issues. At this point, it's more of just kind of a test it and see if it helps with the pupa, keeping them happy and healthy and getting less die-off. That's what this guy's for. If this doesn't work, if it doesn't, prove that it's worth having this this in here, taking up space, then it will probably move out of here. But for now, it looks promising, and we'll post results as we get them. Any questions at all, leave them in the comments. I'll tackle each and every one, and we'll keep you updated on progress.